We're coming on the air with breaking news.
Well, Azriel Clary, she was one of
Azriel Clary.
Azriel Clary.
She's redefining the word survivor.
Can't you see my damage was done and cut? You know you looked upon a good. I loved you way more than I should, and I don't treat you like I could, 'cause two wrongs don't make a right. I had to get you out my sight. How did one night turn into my life? Heart broke free. I'm loving and living from here. You wasn't written in my destiny. Telling me I'm what you need, baby, what about me? You hate to see me, a queen that blossomed from the heart, taking steps they wish they could, doing everything I said I would. They hate the ones misunderstood, but two wrongs they don't make a right. And I can't live with all that spite. Had to leave before I lost my light. Heart broke free. I'm loving and living from here. You wasn't written in my destiny. What you need, but baby, what about me? Heart broke free. Loving and living for me. You wasn't written in my destiny. Telling me I'm what you need, baby, what about me?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Atmos Love Zone Live. I want to welcome everybody in, to all of the visitors, to all the people in the bushes. If y'all could please do me a favor and hit the like button, please. Everyone, please hit the like button. That is very critical at this time, because people are looking for information on this case, and the like buttons let YouTube know that this is a channel worth going to see what is going on. So if everybody in the chat will please hit the like button for me, I would appreciate it. Let me see who we got up in here. Indigo, good morning. How you doing? Thank you for coming in. D. Michelle, hey. Larry's Minion, what's going on? How you doing? Indigo, I got you already. Yada, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for my bear. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm a Queen Newton. How you doing? Good morning. Thanks for coming in. Toon, what up, bro? What's going on? Chanel Lewis, hey, what's going on? Hello, y'all. Welcome, everybody. So, y'all, this morning, we are going to continue reading the transcripts. Between me and Diva, we got on a phone call. We had a little miscommunication, but we family, so we get on the phone and we talk things out and we got it covered. So after this live, as soon as this one's over, Diva's going live, so y'all go straight over there. I didn't realize exactly how many pages was actually in this doggone transcript, y'all. And so on my page, it says that we stopped at page 288. That's what it says on the page. But this is actually, I believe they said it's page 76 out of like 259. So needless to say, not one of us can read everything. So we're going to share this thing and bounce it back and forth. So my sister Diva going to go on. As soon as I leave here, we're going to go over there for her to continue reading this information, okay? So another thing I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to read this here, but I'm going to read it on this end because putting the information on the screen, there's a lot of people's personal information on there, like phone numbers and all kind of stuff. And, you know, we want to try to stay away from putting out anything that the ops are going to take and try to use. And, you know, you'll have them niggas calling R. Kelly phone while it'd be all kind of crazy stuff going on. So I don't want to do that, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started right here on the page, okay? Let's get this thing started here, y'all. So we left off yesterday. On my end, like I said, it says page 288. I believe somebody else said it was page 67. I'm not sure. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and read this here. And this is Jerhonda Johnson Pace's cross-examination from the defense. Okay? So it says here, Mr. Canick says, okay, Your Honor, I'm going to ask that Robert 1 for identification be published. The court said, defendants 1. Mr. Canick said, yes. Judge Diana said, defendants exhibit 1. Okay. Now, Mr. Canick says, you are looking at defendants exhibit 1 for identification. Do you realize that? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, that's a color photograph, a color version of the photograph that was offered by the government earlier in this trial. Am I correct? Canick said, yeah, I'm sorry, Jerhonda said, yes. So then Canick said, now that is you on the bed. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and where is this? Where are you? Jerhonda said, I'm in the mirror room. Now, we all have seen that famous mirror room picture, right? So we have all seen it already. So then he says, in the mirror room, okay. And you testified and told us earlier, do you remember the date this was taken? Jerhonda said, I do not. Canick said, do you remember what you were doing there that day? Jerhonda said, yes, I was visiting Rob. Canick said, you were visiting Rob. Now, I want you to describe the outfit that you're wearing. Jerhonda said, I'm wearing some tan capris and a red shirt. Canick said, you're not wearing baggy sweats. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, the shirt, describe the shirt. Jerhonda said, it's a red fitted shirt. Canick said, red fitted shirt. That's fitted, not baggy. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, what do you have on your feet? Jerhonda said, I have heels on. Canick said, you have heels on. Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, so you're lying in bed with heels on. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, Your Honor, I am going to, the court said, are these additional photographs? Mr. Canick said, yes. The court said, you already marked defendants exhibit 1, 2, and 3. Wait, you should be ABC. Canick said, yes. The court said, those first things will be ABC, and now you're on D and E, all right? Mr. Canick said, Your Honor, I'm going to ask the witness be shown what is marked for identification as defendants exhibit D and E. So then Canick said, may I approach? The court said, yes. These are not in evidence. Mr. Canick said, not yet. So I want to reiterate to those that watch this here that say or that said, well, if the prosecution didn't put it in already, then they can't use it in court. That is absolutely not true. As you can see, the defense was holding on to stuff themselves that the prosecution did not have or was not put into evidence. So it says here, okay, take a look at these. Do you recognize what is marked as this defendant's Exhibit D for identification? Jerhonda said yes. Kenneth said, what do you recognize it to be? Jerhonda said, that's a photo of me, Rob, June, and another R. Kelly fan. Kenneth said, do you have a sense of when this photograph is taken? Jerhonda said, I believe that was taken in April of 2008. Kenneth said, and does this seem to be a fair and accurate depiction of what you recall the situation would be back at the time? Jerhonda said yes. Mr. Kenneth said, Your Honor, I offer this into evidence as defendant's Exhibit D. Geddes, the government said, no objection. The court said, okay. Defendant's Exhibit D was received in evidence. Kenneth said, I'm going to show you what is previously marked. Defendant's Exhibit E for identification. Do you recognize that? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, what do you recognize it to be? Jerhonda said, that is me. If y'all could please do me a favor, I got 24 people in here. Everybody, please hit the like button. I'm going to keep pushing y'all hit the like button because that is essential right now because of this case. People will be looking online to find out what is going on with this case. So people will be searching for places to go. I only got 10 likes and 26 people in here. But y'all, please hit the like button. Everybody, please just go out of here, hit the like button, come right back in. Help me out, please. Please, please, please. Just go out, X out, come back in, hit the like button. We all good. All right. So it says, what do you recognize it to be? Jerhonda said, that is me. Kenneth said, Your Honor, I'm going to offer this into Exhibit E. Ms. Geddes said, no objection. The court said, okay, that's in evidence. Kenneth said, I asked the defendant Exhibit D be published. The court said, okay, exhibit published. Kenneth said, you're looking at defendant's Exhibit D. Do you recognize yourself in that photo? Jerhonda said, I do. Kenneth said, where do you recognize, where do you recognize? What are you wearing? Jerhonda said, I'm wearing a black coat with white pants and brown heels. Mr. Kenneth said, I'm going to ask that the defendant's Exhibit E be published. The court said, okay. Kenneth said, do you recognize yourself in that one? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, what do you recognize yourself? What do you recognize yourself? In this photo, you're wearing, you are holding a news article or something with Robert's picture on it. Jerhonda said, yes, that's correct. Kenneth said, what is it? Jerhonda said, that was me outside of the trial holding a newspaper article with him. Kenneth said, you're 14 at this time. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure if this was taken when I was 14 or a few weeks later when I was 15. Kenneth said, do you recall whether or not this was a school day? Jerhonda said, yes, it was a school day. Kenneth said, so incidentally, you were wearing a wig here. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes, I am. Kenneth said, were you wearing a wig because you wanted to project yourself as being older? Am I correct? Jerhonda said, no, that's not correct. Kenneth said, oh, it's just a style thing. Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, you testified and told us yesterday that there came a point in time that you and Dominique went to Rob's home in Olympia Fields. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and you testified and told us that you got through the gate. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and you testified, you told us that you were stopped by Bubba. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, what were you doing at his house? Jerhonda said, we just ran through the gate. We had no plan. Kenneth said, you had no plan. Jerhonda said, no. Kenneth said, you live 2 hours away. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, so you had no plans, but you drove. I'm sorry, how did you get there? Jerhonda said, Dominique drove her mom's car. Kenneth said, so how far did Dominique live from there? Jerhonda said, she lives 15 minutes away from him. Kenneth said, how did you get to Dominique? Jerhonda said, I took the metro train to go to her house. Kenneth said, with no plans, you left your home, went, met up with Dominique, and you decided to go to Rob's house. Jerhonda said, I planned to meet up with Dominique and we had no plans as far as going to his home. It just happened. Kenneth said, you testified and showed us. You testified about a huge gate yesterday to his property. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, you climbed across that gate? Jerhonda said, no, we did not climb the gate. Kenneth said, how'd you get through the gate? Jerhonda said, we waited for a car to go through, and when the car went in, we ran behind it. Kenneth said, Rob was on tour. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Kenneth said, how long had you waited for a car to come to go through the gate? Jerhonda said, we drove up. It was probably about 2 minutes, and then we saw a car going in, and we ran in. Kenneth said, so you were waiting outside of Dominique's car? Jerhonda said, we were getting out of her car. Kenneth said, can you describe the car that went in the gate? Jerhonda said, it was a black car. I'm not sure of the make or model. Kenneth said, it was Bubba who caught you, right? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, what did you tell Bubba your reason was for being there? Jerhonda said, I just told him that I was going to get my heels. I wanted to get my heels that I left. Kenneth said, that was not your purpose though, right? Jerhonda said, it originally wasn't my purpose. Kenneth said, when did it become your purpose? Jerhonda said, when we got caught. Kenneth said, so it wasn't your purpose after you told Bubba that. What, if anything, did Bubba do according to you? Jerhonda said, can you repeat the question? Kenneth said, after you told Bubba that you were there to get your heels, what, if anything, did Bubba do according to you? Jerhonda said, he went back and he went to the house and he got my heels for me. Kenneth said, may I have a second, please, Your Honor? The court said, sure. Kenneth came back and said, isn't it a fact, ma'am, that the day that you went to Rob's home, he was not home? Geddes, the government said, objection! Court said, overruled. Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. I'm sorry, which day are you speaking of? Kenneth said, the date that you and Dominique went to his home, isn't it a fact that he was not home that day? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, isn't it a fact that you did, in fact, get into his home that day? Jerhonda said, I got into his gate. I did not get into his house. Kenneth said, isn't it a fact that you got into his house and you went inside of his home and you took pictures of his home while he was not at his house? Jerhonda said, that is not true. Kenneth said, isn't it a fact that the picture that you're taking while in his bed was taking on that date that you and Dominique burglarized his home. Government said, objection, sustained as to form. Canick said, isn't it a fact that you took this picture in his bed the date that you and Dominique actually went there? Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. Canick said, your shoes are on, am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, you're dressed in tight-fitting clothes, am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, are you testifying that you told the jury yesterday that Robert's rule were that you could not wear tight-fitting clothes and that you told the jury yesterday? Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, you testified and told the jury that Robert said that you were to wear baggy clothes, sweatpants. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Jerhonda said, and loose-fitting blouse. Am I correct? I'm sorry. Canick said, and loose-fitting blouse. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, a loose-fitting shirt. Canick said, shirt. Would you agree with me that the pants that you're wearing are not baggy? Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, you would agree with me that the shirt you're wearing is not loose-fitting? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, now, this photograph that you said you took when Robert was home, how long had you been in his house that day? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Canick said, do you recall what time you got there? Jerhonda said, I do not. Y'all could please hit the like button for me, please. I know this is irritating, but y'all don't understand how critical it is to be hitting that like button at this time. I got 43 people, 44 now, and only 26 likes. Please hit the like button. Please, 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 please. All you gotta do is X out of here, go and hit the like button, and then come right back in. Please. Please, please, please. All right. Let me see where I was at. Okay. Now this photograph that you said you took when Robert was home, how long had it been how long had you been in his home that day? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Canick said, do you recall what time you got there? Jerhonda said, I do not. Canick said, when you would go to Robert's home, would you lie in his bed with your shoes on? Jerhonda said, can you repeat that? Canick said, when you would go to Robert's home, would you lie in his bed with your shoes on? Jerhonda said, not all the time. Canick said, not all the time. When did you do it? Jerhonda said, I would randomly do it at times. Canick said, so this just happened to be one of the days, right? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, now you and Bubba had a relationship, am I correct? Government said, objection. Court said, overruled. Jerhonda said, what kind of relationship? Canick said, come on, a sexual relationship. Government said, objection. Court said, sustained. Canick said, you and Bubba had a sexual relationship. Geddes said, government said, objection. The court said, can I see the parties at the side? They did another sidebar. So they had the sidebar. Then they came back. The court said, I made a pretrial ruling that the witness's prior sexual conduct was not relevant, and I precluded inquiry of this. This is the second question that you put to this witness about her relationships with other people. If there is some reason for an exception to my ruling, I would expect that you would apply to me first before asking a witness. I'm sustaining the objection. I do not see the relevance of it unless you can explain it. I'm very disappointed with this line of questioning. Mr. Canick said, Your Honor, this witness testified that she gave my client This witness testified that she gave my client large sums of money after she got the settlement from him. Based on the records we received from the government, she gave Bubba monies from the settlement money. Bubba was the person, according to her, that stopped her from actually burglarizing my client's home. And Bubba was the one who was supposed to call my client and alert my client and did nothing about it. There is a theory here that she and Bubba were basically in cahoots in terms of what was going on to get money from my client. Damn. The court said, I mentioned when I made this ruling, the rules require that you have to make a specific and articulate reason to question a witness along these lines. You are among the best lawyers that I have worked with, so I know you know this, and you did not do that. You just asked her a question, and I'm precluding. You had to make an application to me. You didn't do it. If this was your theory, that's what you should have done. It's beyond inappropriate to ask a witness in this situation a question like that. Canick said, well, when am I supposed to ask a witness about their relationship, leaving out the sexual part? Auntie Ann said, first of all, if the theory is that she conspired with him, I'm not sure the sex part of it matters. Canick said, I don't know what evidence. Oh, shit. Hold on. Canick said, it shows the closeness and the trust. Judge Donnelly said, I don't know what evidence you have that they had any kind of relationship, but it doesn't matter because I precluded it. I precluded you from bringing out this evidence. And if there is some reason for you to do it, you should have made the application. You can't do it. This talking about herpes has zero to do with this questioning. Mr. Canick, look how broad this question is. The court said, so the record is clear. Mr. Canick's co-counsel has come with a portion of this transcript during which the government was asking the witness questions about herpes. The questions were confined specifically to this period of time. I'm not going to discuss this anymore because I don't see that there is a foundation for this question, and it's in direct contradiction to what I told you. So please, don't ask the question. Move on to something else. Mr. Canick said, can I get some water? The judge said, yes. That was the end of the sidebar. All right, let's continue. Examination continues. Mr. Canick says, now yesterday, you testified and told the jury about a settlement that you got from Robert. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and you testified about your giving him monies back. Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, now, you also gave Bubba some of that money. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, how much money did you give Bubba? Jerhonda said, $4,000. Canick said, now do you remember when it was that you started giving Bubba money? Jerhonda said, it was only once. I do not recall. Canick said, now yesterday you testified and told the jury that Rob settled the case with you and gave you money for your silence. Do you remember telling us that? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, now, I want you to... Oh, hold on. Yeah, Koenig said, now, I want you to... Your Honor, may I approach the witness? The court said, yes. Koenig said, I'm going to ask you to look at Government Exhibit 928. Jerhonda complies and looks at it. Koenig said, that's the settlement agreement. Am I correct, between you and Robert? Jerhonda said, this is the second one. Yes. Koenig said, the second one? Jerhonda said, yes. Koenig said, okay. Now, may I have that back for a second? Jerhonda said, yes. The government jumps in and said, and just for the record, can you make clear that you previously showed 3500 JP29, not 928? Koenig said, yes. Koenig said, I am now showing you Government Exhibit 928. This is the agreement that you signed. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, and who was your attorneys at that time? Jerhonda said, Susan Loggins and Patrick Condrone. Koenig said, and you testified, you told us yesterday that basically the settlement agreement came about for Rob's purchase for your silence. Do you remember telling us that? Jerhonda said, yes. Koenig said, I want you to read that agreement. And when you get to the part where it says it's for the purchase for your silence, I want you to let me know. She said, okay. Hold on, y'all. She said, okay. Hold on. Okay, y'all can still see me. Okay. Silent. Okay, she said, okay. Government came in and said, objection. The court said, well, overruled. Actually sustained to form. Why don't you just put the question to the witness, and then if there's a question you want to ask her, you can do that. Mr. Koenig said, look at that document. Does it say any place in there where Rob is signing this agreement to purchase your silence? The court said this is completely ministerial. This is a completely ministerial question for you. Sidebar held with the court and counsel only, outside of the hearing of the jury and the court reporters. Jerhonda said, and what's your question? Mr. Koenig said, may it be read back? The court said, sure. The question was read. Jerhonda said, no, it does not. Koenig said, read paragraph 1 to the jury. Jerhonda read, it says, Kelly enters into this confidential settlement agreement and release without any admission of liability or wrongdoing. And Kelly expressly denies engaging in any inappropriate, improper, or wrongful conduct of any type of or manner. Johnson acknowledges, confirms, and represents that at one time she told Kelly she was 19 years of age. Kelly asserts that Johnson showed him an identification card stating that she was 19 years of age, and that she never told him that she was under 19 years of age and never showed him any identification indicating that she was under 19 years of age. Johnson has agreed to substantially reduce her original settlement demand in light of assertions of Kelly. Kelly has agreed to pay the settlement proceeds solely to avoid the cost of litigation. Koenig said, and you signed that, am I correct? Jerhonda said, I did sign this. Kennick said, may I have it back? And you signed this after consulting with your attorneys. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I didn't see the agreement before I signed it, but I signed the last page of it. Kennick said, so you signed something that you didn't see? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kennick said, are you telling this jury that you never read it? Jerhonda said, I read it after I obtained my file from my attorney, but I never knew what was in the original settlement because my attorneys never let me get it. Kennick said, so it's your testimony that you went to the office. You did go to their office, right? She said, that's correct. He said, and how long were you at that office? She said, on which day? Kennick said, on the date that you signed this agreement. Jerhonda said, I was there less than an hour. Kennick said, and before that, had you been to that office before? Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, how many times? Jerhonda said, I was there probably twice before having to sign papers. Kennick said, and during the times that you were there, those 2 occasions, did you discuss the settlement? Jerhonda said, we talked about the settlement the day that I had to sign the paper. Kennick said, and before that, you never discussed the settlement. Jerhonda said, I didn't know anything about it. Kennick said, but you did learn about it the day that you were there for the settlement. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. A lot of things wasn't discussed with me. Kennick said, I didn't ask you that. I said, did you learn about it on the date that you went for the settlement? Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, okay. And before signing it, your attorneys explained it to you. Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, okay. And you were how old at that time? Jerhonda said, at that time I was 16. Kennick said, and your mother was there? Jerhonda said, yes, she was. Kennick said, and your mother signed it. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes, she did. Kennick said, and your mother had been involved with this procedure at the offset. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I don't understand your question. Kennick said, wasn't your mother involved with this litigation and helping you, with this process and helping you with this process? Jerhonda said, yes, she was present. Kennick said, now after you signed this, you got another lawyer. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that is correct. Kennick said, how much longer after you did you retain another lawyer? Jerhonda said it was a few months later. Kennick said, so a few months later, after you retained another lawyer, Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, and you retained that other lawyer to sue Rob? Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, and then you retained a third lawyer? Jerhonda said, yes. And you retained that lawyer as well to sue Rob? Jerhonda said, yes. God. Dog. Kenneth said, now there was another settlement. Am I correct? A settlement agreement. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and that one was signed by you as well. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, and that one was read before you signed it. Jerhonda said, yes, I was allowed to read that one. Kenneth said, and was it explained to you before you signed it? Jerhonda said, yes, it was. Kenneth said, and your mother was with you in that process as well. Jerhonda said, no, she wasn't. Kenneth said, so you did this one by yourself? Jerhonda said, yes, I did. Kenneth said, how old were you at that time? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Kenneth said, do you remember what year you signed it? Jerhonda said, I don't recall the year, I just signed it. Mr. Kenneth said, well, may I approach the witness? The court said yes. Mr. Kenneth said, look at this document and see if it refreshes your recollection as to the date you signed it, the second agreement. Jerhonda said she agreed. She looked at it. The government jumped in and said, can you note that for the record, what document you just showed her? Kenneth said 3500 material, JP 29. Jerhonda said, so this is familiar. Kenneth said, you've had an opportunity to review this document. Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, does it refresh your recollection as to the date? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said that it was signed by you. Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, what was the date? Jerhonda said, August of 2013. Kenneth said, how old were you at this time? Jerhonda said, I was 20. Kenneth said, now, when would you, when you would stay at, according to you, Rob's house, you testified that there were times that you had to ask permission to go to the bathroom. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, now what rooms were you in generally when you were there? Jerhonda said, I was mainly in the mirror room and music 1. Kenneth said, so the mirror room was a bathroom? Am I correct? Hold on. So the mirror room has a bathroom. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes, it does. Kenneth said, and it's your testimony that you had to ask permission to go to the bathroom in the mirror room. Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, and how long generally would you have to wait in there before you could get permission? Jerhonda said, generally it will be fast if I was on his good side, and he'll be back within about 5 minutes. Kenneth said, and what if you were on his bad side? Jerhonda said, if I was on his bad side, then I have to wait until he would give me permission. Kenneth said, well, I'm asking you approximately how long? Jerhonda said, the longest period was 3 days. Kenneth said, so you were in a room. You don't see the man for 3 days. You need to go to the bathroom. And you don't relieve yourself? Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. Damn. Jerhonda said that's incorrect. Kennick said, you just testified and told us that the longest you had to wait was 3 days. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kennick said, you were in the mirror room. Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, the bathroom is right there. Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, okay. Now you testified and told us yesterday about an occasion where you were called to the tour bus by Rob. Jerhonda said, what's your question? Kennick said, you testified and told the jury yesterday that there came a point in time when you were actually in his home and he was in the tour bus and he called you to the tour bus. Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, and when you got to the tour bus, you testified and told us about 2 people being on the bus. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, Rob and another woman. Correct. Kennick said, and before that, had you ever been on a tour bus? Jerhonda said, no. Kennick said, describe the tour bus. Jerhonda said, his tour bus was a big black travel bus and it had red and tan lines on the outside of it. Kennick said, now, you had seen that bus on a number of occasions. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kennick said, so it was no problems with you recognizing that bus. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kennick said, now describe the interior of the bus. Jerhonda said, the interior of the bus was tan, and there was a table in there, and he has like long. He stopped her and said, where's the table? Jerhonda said, the table is on the left side of the bus when you get on it. Kennick said, and go ahead, finish responding. Jerhonda said, and then there's seating and there's a bathroom on the bus. Kennick said, what about bunk beds? Jerhonda said, I don't recall seeing bunk beds on the bus. Kennick said, how many bathrooms on the bus? Jerhonda said, I only saw one. Kennick said, where was that one? Jerhonda said, it was towards, after the table, towards the middle of the bus. Kennick said, and then you testified and told us that there came a point in time when you got herpes. Jerhonda said, yes. Kennick said, and you testified that before that, Rob had never mentioned anything to you about herpes. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. I'm sorry, am I correct? Hold on. Am I correct? Jerhonda said that about him having herpes. Kennick said yes. Jerhonda said that's correct. Then she paused. There was a pause. And Mr. Kennick said, well, until I find it, I'll move to another area. Kennick said, now, let's go to the blue t-shirt. You testified and told us yesterday, essentially, that Robert assaulted you on the last time that you met with him and had a sexual encounter with him. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kennick said, and you testified that he also choked you out. Am I correct? Hey, y'all, I got 74 people in here, only 50 likes. If you wouldn't mind just going out, hitting the like button, and coming right back in if you have not hit the like button yet. If you did, thank you. I do appreciate it. Once again, you're going to hear more bloggers talking about hitting that like button because this is how this content gets pushed through the internet so the people that are looking for information can find it. So if you would please hit the like button if you already didn't. If you don't like this channel and you just here to be nosy, hit the dislike button. I don't care. Just hit something, please. Thank you. Then he said, and when you went on, you told us that after all of this, you had a sexual encounter with him. Am I correct? She said, that's correct. He said, Canner said, now when he slapped you, did you fall? Jerhonda said, no, I did not. Kenneth said, he slapped you with a lot of force, though. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, okay. And did you have any marks on your body or on your face? Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Kenneth said, but he slapped you real hard. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, hard to me, yes. Kenneth said, and he's much bigger than you are, correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and were you specifically on your face? Hold on. And were you specifically on your face? Hold on. And where? And where specifically on your face were you hit? Jerhonda said, I was hit on the right side. Kenneth said, okay. On your jaw or across your lip or... Jerhonda said, I was hit across my cheek. Kenneth said, across your cheek. Did it match any part of your lip? Did it catch any part of your lip or your cheek or whatever? And Jerhonda said, the side of it. Kenneth said, the side of your lip. Now, with that force, your lips were swollen. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, my lips were not swollen. Kenneth said, your cheeks were swollen. Jerhonda said, my cheek was stinging, but I'm not sure if it was swollen. Kenneth said, and any blood coming from your lip? Jerhonda said, no. Jerhonda said, and then, I'm sorry, Kenneth said, and then what happened first? Did he slap you first or choke you first? Jerhonda said, he slapped me first. Kenneth said, and then he choked you. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and when he choked you out, where were you? Jerhonda said, I don't understand that question. Kenneth said, well, when he choked you, you were standing. You were standing. She said, yes, I was. He said, and you were right in front of him? She said, yes, I was. Kenneth said, and you said he choked you out till you passed out. Is that correct? She said, yes, against the wall. Kenneth said, so when you wake up, you were on the floor. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and he spat on you before that. Jerhonda said, had he did that? Kenneth said, you said he spit on you, right? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, was that before the slap? Jerhonda said, that was after. And I got up and I was on the floor. Kenneth said, you were on the floor. So he reached down and looked down and spat on you. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, and it was in your face? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, and then after that, you got up and you had sex with him. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, and then you went home. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, and it was on the ride home, you took the train. Jerhonda said, yes, I did. Canick said, it was a 2-hour ride. Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and on that ride, on the train, you started thinking about how humiliating that was. Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and you start thinking about, what I'm not going to take. You know what? I'm not going to take this anymore. And you started thinking about, you know what? I'm not going to take this anymore. Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and you started thinking about, I'm going to go to a lawyer. Jerhonda said, not at the time. Canick said, well, when did you start thinking about going to a lawyer? Jerhonda said, I wanted to go to the lawyer like when I got home. I didn't think about it on the train ride. Canick said, okay, but when you got home, you thought about going to a lawyer, right? Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, you started gathering your evidence. Is that correct? Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. Canick said, you didn't start thinking about, okay, what am I going to tell this lawyer? What evidence I have? Jerhonda said, that's in, no, I did not. Canick said, well, after you were taking the ride home and he smacked your face, did you take any photographs of your face? Jerhonda said, I did not. Canick said, did you tell your mom? Jerhonda said, once I got home, yes, I did. Canick said, did you call the cops? Jerhonda said, no, we did not. Canick said, but you did call a civil lawyer. Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, a civil lawyer would try to get you money. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, and a criminal lawyer bring you here. Jerhonda said, the court said, I'm sorry, I don't understand question. Canick said, I'm sorry. Canick said, the criminal lawyer, criminal case brings you here. The court said, okay, I see. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, now, I want to go to that shirt. The blue t-shirt that you testified about. You said, as of that day, the last day you saw Rob, you used that shirt, which was yours. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, you wore that t-shirt over there. Jerhonda said, yes, I did. Wait. Can you clarify to where is the destination? Over where? Canick said, well, you said you were at Rob's house. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and you said there came a point in time that you used the t-shirt to wipe the spit off your face and the semen off your face. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, and that was the t-shirt that you wore over there. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, what did you wear home? Jerhonda said, my t-shirt. Canick said, the same t-shirt? Jerhonda said, yes. Canick said, so you've been in control of that t-shirt from the date until you took it to your lawyer. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Canick said, now do you know whether or not anyone ever ran a test to see if your DNA was on that t-shirt to see if that shirt belongs to you? Jerhonda said, not that I know of. Canick said, so the only information that we have that this t-shirt belongs to you is your word. Am I correct? The government said, objection! Court said, sustained. Mr. Canick said, okay, if I can find a convenient place. Okay, this is it. The court said, ladies and gentlemen, your lunches are here, so I am going to excuse you for lunch. Please again, I know I say it all the time, but I still mean it. Do not talk about the case at all. Do not look anything up about the case. We'll see you back here at 2:15 and have a good lunch. The court deputy says, all rise. The jury exits. The court, okay, everyone have a seat. Miss Geddes. The government says, can we let the witness leave, Your Honor? The court says, yes, I keep forgetting. Go ahead. The witness steps down and exits the courtroom. The court says, all right, just in terms of scheduling, how much longer do you have? Mr. Canick said, I thought it would be faster, but it's about an hour. The court said, another hour? Canick said, yes. The court said, you told me we broke before that you had about an hour and a half. Canick said, you know, I'm horrible at this, Your Honor. The court said, all right, but we have a witness who is ready to deliver a baby at any moment. And so I am going to ask you to be economical and more economical in your explanation of the witness. Mr. Canick said, will do, Your Honor. The judge said, I think it's in everybody's interest to get this witness finished. And to the extent that there's any redirection, I expect the same thing. So I know you can't determine how much redirect you have, but think about it. Another question that I have for you all, generally, there seems to be a number of exhibits that you seem to agree can go into evidence. If you can agree on them in advance without the need to lay a foundation, that would also move things along. As interesting as it is to hear foundation questions, if there is no dispute about the particular pieces of evidence, let's just agree on them. All right, we'll return at 2:15. The government says, Your Honor, can we raise some housekeeping matters, or do you want to wait? The court said, yes, go ahead. Ms. Geddes said, it has come to our attention that Mr. Farinelli issued a tweet. Oh, shoot, y'all. Oh, here we go. It has come to our attention that Mr. Farinelli issued a tweet. I don't know if that's the proper use on Tuesday of this week. That, in our opinion, is that a violation of Local Rule 23.1 in the direct? The court says, what does the tweet say? Ms. Geddes says, excuse me. The court says, what does it say? Ms. Geddes says, the tweet says, after all, the RICO enterprise is based on a series of independent relationships and events that the government is trying to patch together, like different types of fabric, and trying to pass it off as silk. As the rule provides, the court said, I'm familiar with the rule. Did you tweet Mr. Farinelli? Mr. Farinella said, yes, Your Honor. The court said, why did you do that? Didn't I specifically instruct you not to make remarks to the media? And in keeping with that rule, are you familiar with the rule, that local rule? Mr. Farinella said, yes, Your Honor. The court said, why did you do it then? Mr. Farinella said, I did not think that tweet was in violation of the rule, Your Honor. The court said it violates the rule. Do not do it again. All right, they paste across Canic. Mr. Farinella said, yes, Your Honor. Anything else? Ms. Geddes said, yes, Your Honor. It's just 2 quick matters. The government wishes to call one witness by video conference, such that she will testify from a courthouse in Chicago. The witness has no objection. The defense has no objection. And if we can set it up, does Your Honor have any problem with that? The court said, I don't, as long as everybody agrees to it. Ms. Geddes said, and then the last matter is that there have been requests by the media for several pieces of evidence that was entered into evidence yesterday to include the defendant's government exhibit 1, which is a photograph of the defendant. The court said, I am just going to cut you off just to say the evidence, the items that have been admitted into evidence can obviously be shared with media outlets, except to the extent there is non-public information in them. So, as long as they are admitted into evidence, I understand someone from your office took it upon himself to make those arrangements. As I said to you before, that is going into a little out of his lane. These are court exhibits, but if there is something set up for you to do that, then you can use it. Ms. Geddes said, okay, but just to be clear, we haven't shared anything. The court said, no, that's fine. Ms. Geddes said, yes. The court said, but if there's a request, in the olden days, we would lay out the exhibits and the media could just come and look at them. Whatever form it is you want to share with them, it's fine. Ms. Geddes said, and just lastly, there will be some exhibits that the government will enter into evidence that we will object to sharing more publicly. But we can address those as they come. The court said, I think that's fine. All right, have a good lunch. Ann Donnelly exits the courtroom. The luncheon recess is now taken. Continue to the following page. Okay, so here's the afternoon section, y'all. Before we get into this next part, I got 91 people in here. I got 76 likes. If you don't mind, just going out of here, clicking the like button and coming right back in. The reason why we asking y'all to hit the like button is because people are online looking for information. And when you hit the like button, it kind of lets the algorithms know that people are wanting to see this information. So if you don't mind, please, just going out, hitting the like button and coming right back in. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, here's the afternoon session, y'all. In open court, parties are present. Courtroom deputy. All rise. The court. While we're getting Mr. Kelly, I'd like to see counsel at the sidebar. So they bring another sidebar up there. Okay, so I see that I had a dislike come in, but no likes. Can y'all please hit the like button? 93 people in here, only 76 likes. Help me out. The sidebar conference is on the record, present in the court. Ms. Geddes, they have that sidebar conversation blacked out. Let me see. Sidebar discussion concludes. Sidebar conference held on record. Okay. Sidebar discussion concludes. Okay. Here we go. Proceedings. The court. Okay, let's get the witness. When do you want me to give her that instruction now? Ms. Geddes said, I think so that we don't have to take a break when he finishes. The court says that's fine. The witness takes the witness stand. The court says, before we bring in the jury, I want you to tell the witness, Mr. Canic, Mr. Canic, has a few more questions for you. Then the government is going to ask you some questions. I know they gave you some instruction not to talk about certain things, including the nature of the trial that took place in 2008. But you may answer any questions that the lawyers ask you, okay? Jerhonda said, okay. The court said that's lifted. I mean, unless I sustain an objection during the court of the questioning, that it's okay for you to answer questioning on that subject, okay? Then the courtroom deputy says, okay. The court says, okay, great. Let's get the jury. A brief pause and the proceedings was held. The courtroom deputy, all rise. If y'all could please hit the like button for me. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We got 93 people in here, still got the same 77 likes. Can you please hit the like button? Right. I think you're right, Toon. It's a bunch of haters. They're not going to hit the like button. Well, hey, haters, hit the dislike button. Please, at least hit the dislike button. Come on. All right. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. So the judge says you may be seated. All right. Well back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to resume. Mr. Cannon, were you ready? Mr. Cannon says, thank you, Your Honor. The courtroom deputy, the witness is reminded she's still under oath. The witness says, yes. Cross-examination by Mr. Cannon, continuing. All right, so, good afternoon, ma'am. That is what Cannon said. Jerhonda said, hold on. What the hell? Cannon said, good afternoon, ma'am. Jerhonda said, good morning. Cannon said, I want to visit that party. The first party that you went to for less than 30 minutes, one last time. Now, at that party, there was a DJ. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I don't recall a DJ being there. Cannon said, okay, now, you were asked earlier by the government, what, if anything, that Mr. Kelly told you about herpes? Do you remember that? Jerhonda said, yes. Cannon said, okay, and your response is that he told you nothing about herpes? Am I correct? Jerhonda said, he told me nothing about him having herpes. Cannon said, now you testified and told us earlier that you had several meetings with the government. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Cannon said, and when you had these meetings, were there any agents and assistant United States attorneys? Am I correct? There were agents and assistant attorneys. And then Jerhonda said, yes. Cannon said, now prior to the briefing and asking you questions, they advised you that making a false statement or telling a lie to the federal official is a crime. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Cannon said, and they also told you on numerous indications. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Cannon said, and you swore here earlier today to tell the truth. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Cannon said, and you swore yesterday to tell the truth. Shit. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Cannon said, and when you recall being interviewed by the agents on February 27th of 2019, I'm not sure, Jerhonda said, I'm not sure of the exact date. Mr. Cannon said, may I approach the witness, Your Honor? The court said, sure. Thank y'all so much for getting the likes up. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Cannon said, I direct your attention to the top left-hand portion under details of investigation and see if that refreshes your recollection as to whether or not you had an interview with the government on that particular day. Jerhonda said, yes. Cannon said, Now, when you say yes after having reviewed the document, does that refresh your recollection that you had an interview with the government on February 27th of 2019? Jerhonda said yes. Koenig said, and on that date, they gave you the admonition that making a false statement to the whoever is a federal offense. Am I correct? Jerhonda said yes. Koenig said, now, when they asked you about herpes and my client on that date, you told them one day Kelly confided in me and informed her, Daddy's not doing so good. Have you ever heard of herpes? That he further informed you that a few people close to him have it, and it has been traveling around since the late 1990s. He went on to explain that herpes was a virus that was curable, and you cannot get rid of it. And then, according to you, he instructed you to look down there and make sure it wasn't traveling. And that he opened, while you stated to the government that he opened up to people about herpes that he really trusts. And that you recall that conversation took place around July 2009. And that he further, according to you, instructed you to lay down. He visibly and physically inspected your vagina with his finger, and that he informed you that you could tell anyone that, he informed you that you could tell anyone that she contracted genital herpes from him. I guess you're trying to say you couldn't tell anyone you contracted genital herpes from him. Do you remember telling the government that on February 27, 2009? Damn. She said most of it, yes. Koenig said, but you just testified that he told you nothing about herpes. That ain't good. Jerhonda said, this was during my outbreak when I had found out I had it. Koenig said, no, that's not my question. My question is, you came in here yesterday, took an oath to tell the jury the truth, and when you were asked by the government, what did my client tell you about herpes, you said he told you nothing. Do you remember telling us that part? Jerhonda said yes. Koenig said, but now, what I just read to you, you told the government a totally different story. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, what you read, I don't recall. Koenig said, oh, I see. Now, you did testify and told us earlier that prior to coming in and giving testimony to this jury, you and the government went over these questions that they put to you at least 3 different times. Geddes for the government said, objection. The court said sustained as to form. Koenig said, you and the government went over the questions they put to you. Am I correct? Jerhonda said yes. Koenig said more than once. Jerhonda said yes. Koenig said more than twice. Jerhonda said, I'm not sure if it was more than twice. Koenig said, now, I think you testified yesterday, as well as there came a point in time that you started after you sued Robert and got a settlement that you gave money back. Do you remember telling us that? Jerhonda said yes. Kenneth said, and I think you told us that you did that because you felt bad about what was happening. What you guys had been going through. Jerhonda said yes. Kenneth said, okay, but you sued him 3 other times. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. 2 other times? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and after the first lawsuit, how long or how much time elapsed before you sued him a second time? Jerhonda said a few months. Kenneth said, and that was only, and hold up. Kenneth said, and that was the only other time you sued him. Jerhonda said, no, it wasn't. Kenneth said, there was another time. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, okay, how much time had elapsed from the second time to the next time? Jerhonda said, 3 years. Kenneth said, but you felt bad about what you were going through. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and now you also testified and told the jury that even after the lawsuits, you wanted to continue to be his friend. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, in fact, you wanted to get back with him, according to you. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, in fact, according to you, you wanted to just let the relationship be back in gear again. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, in fact, according to you, you wanted to just get the relationship back in gear again. I read that again. She said, that's correct. Kenneth said, now, when you were hoping to get the relationship back in gear again, was that after the first lawsuit, but before the second? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, and when you sued him the second time, did you try or were you still hopeful after the second time to get the relationship started up again? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, in fact, as you sit here today, you're still hopeful of getting a relationship with him. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. Kenneth said, when did you stop hoping and wanting to get in a relationship with him? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure of the date. Kenneth said, was it in 2017? Jerhonda said it was before then. Kenneth said 2016. Jerhonda said it was before then. I'm just not sure of what year. Kenneth said, okay, so I asked you this morning about the time that you went to Mr. Kelly's house for a party and whether or not you encountered security. Do you remember me asking you that question? Team Libra, what's up, sis? How you doing? Take R. Kelly back and give us Tupac. What's up, sis? Natty Boo. West Coast Bellas. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Jerhonda said yes. Kenneth said, and you told us basically that what you did is that you called Bubba. He met you and just escorted you through. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, well, again, you had interviews with the government where you discussed these details. Am I correct? Jerhonda said yes. Kenneth said, and do you recall, or isn't it a fact that you told the government that on February 27th of 2009, in that same interview that was just referenced, that when you arrived at Kelly's front gate, security asked for their names, and that you told the government on that date? Am I correct? Jerhonda said yes. Kenneth said, so you didn't tell them when you got to the gate that you had already called Bubba and Bubba came and met you? You didn't tell him that, right? Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Kenneth said, but now you admit that you were encountered by security and they stopped you. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, it wasn't actually like security that stopped us. The court said, I'm just confused. Is Bubba security? Mr. Kenneth said, no. The court said, oh, this is somebody else. Mr. Kenneth said, yes. Jerhonda said, Bubba, he plays the security role. The court said, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to clarify. Kenneth said, Bubba owns a tattoo parlor. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, Bubba is a great friend of Robert. Is that correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, so you're telling this jury under oath that Bubba was part of the security? Jerhonda said, yes, Bubba is part of his security team. Kenneth said, okay. Now, when you told the jury earlier this morning that you had no encounter with security, what are you telling us? Is this because Bubba, who according to you is part of the security, but you don't view him as security? So it was fair for you to say that you had no encounter with security? The government says, objection! The court says, sustained. Kenneth said, look, I confused myself with that one, Judge. Now, when you told the jury this morning that you did not encounter with security, you meant that because you had Bubba, who was part of security, come to get you. Jerhonda said that's correct. Kenneth said, now tell the jury why when you were interviewed by the government, you told them that security came, that security stopped you and asked for your name. Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Kenneth said, now, I'm not asking you if you recall anything. I'm asking you to explain something. Why? If Bubba was a part of security and you did not view him as security, why would you tell the government in that meeting that when you arrived at the front gate, security asked you for your name? Objection! Came from the government. The judge said, do you remember why you told the government that? Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Kenneth said, but you would agree with me that Bubba knew your name, right? Jerhonda said, yes, Bubba knew my name. Kenneth said, so you got... Judge Don Allen said, let the witness finish. Jerhonda said, Bubba knew my name. Kenneth said, so Bubba would not have asked you for your name. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. God damn. Judge Don Annaly said, I'm sorry to interrupt. Were you by yourself at this time? Jerhonda said, no. He was with Kiana. Well, she was with Kiana. The court said, I see. Go ahead. Koenig said, according to you, what you told us the other day is that Bubba invited you and Kiana. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, Bubba invited me and I was with Kiana. Koenig said, so Bubba did not invite you and Kiana? Jerhonda said, me and Kiana was together. So Koenig said, when Bubba extended the invitation, he did not invite you and Kiana. Jerhonda said, that's correct. He invited me and I was with Kiana. Koenig said, so during your interview with the government, isn't it a fact that you told the government? Isn't it a fact that you told the government in or about May 2009 that you formally met Kelly through one of his friends identified as Jermaine at the time that you were approximately 16 years old, and you identified Jermaine as Jermaine Maxey, also known as Bubba, when you started that? Objection! Came from the government. The court said, well, do you have a question to put to the witness? Koenig said, yes. The court said, rather than just read the whole thing, Koenig said, isn't it a fact that you told the government that you stated that you first met Maxey through MySpace, and after communicating with Maxey, he invited you and your friend to personally meet up? Do you remember telling the government that? Jerhonda said, yes. Koenig said, and then you made plans to meet up at the tattoo shop. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, and after making arrangements at the tattoo shop, Maxey contacted you and invited you and your friend to attend one of Kelly's parties instead. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, so he invited you and your friend? Jerhonda said, he invited me and I was with my friend. So in speaking terms, he invited us. I'm saying it's the person I'm with. So if I'm invited, I'm bringing them with me. Koenig said, isn't it a fact that you told the government during that meeting of February 27, 2019, that Maxey contacted you and invited you? Government said, objection! Koenig said, and your friend to attend one of Kelly's parties instead. The court said, overruled. That means you can answer. The witness said, okay. The court said, that's okay. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, when you gave your testimony here, under oath, you testified to the question that led you to go into the defendant's house in May of 2009, and your answer was, we were supposed to be going to a tattoo parlor and ended up getting invited to his home by Bubba. He invited us to a party. That's what you testified to under oath. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, now you testified earlier and told us that about this assault, according to you, that Robert inflicted upon you the last time that you two got together for a sexual encounter. Do you remember telling us about that? Jerhonda said, yes, I do. Kenneth said, and you told us after the assault, according to you, that he asked you to engage in sex then as well. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, and after you had some initial sex, he told you to put on some heels so that you can have intercourse. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's incorrect. Kenneth said, that's incorrect. What did he tell you about the heels? Jerhonda said, the heels are the heels. That's what we usually, that's what he wanted me to wear whenever we had sex. Kenneth said, and he didn't ask you according to you. Jerhonda said, he asked me about the heels, and that's when I told him that I left them at my uncle's house. Kenneth said, and he asked you about the heels for the purpose of having intercourse. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I'm assuming that's what he wanted. Kenneth said, right. But when you spoke to the government in one of those interviews you had, you told them that on the same day Robert was having a party, and you told him, Robert, that you needed to grab the heels for the party. Do you remember telling the government that? Jerhonda said, yes. Kenneth said, and you told the government that you left and never returned. Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, so when you told the government about this during that interview, you told them that you grabbed the heels for the party and not for sex. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Kenneth said, incidentally, do you remember telling someone that in connection with this case or with this incident that you drove by Rob's house over 30 times? Jerhonda said, no, I do not recall that. Mr. Kenneth said, may I approach? The court says, yes. Continue to the next page. Ooh. Kenneth said, I'm going to direct your attention to the highlighted portion. See if that reflects your recollection that you told someone of the fact that you drove by Rob's home. Ms. Geddes said, what document are you showing her? Mr. Scholler said, JP 115. Kenneth said, yes or no? Does that refresh your recollection that you told someone that you drove past Rob's studio to see if his tour bus was there on over 30 occasions? The court said, when did this happen? Mr. Kenneth said, the document or the 30 occasions. The court said the 30 occasions. Mr. Kenneth said the court said, go ahead. Does that refresh your memory? The witness said, it does not. So Mr. Kenneth said, when you say, now, yes or no, are you familiar? May we please have a brief sidebar? The court said, sure. So they had another sidebar. The following conference was held outside the hearing of the jury. So Mr. Kenneth says, I'm almost done. So in this interview, this post-interview of the polygraph, because I don't want it to be an argument that by asking the name of the polygrapher that I'm opening the door to the polygraph. The court said, I think you asked her if this reflects her memory about whether she said this, and then she said it doesn't. I don't think it matters to whom she said it. Candace said, okay. The court said, I think it's probably, is this before any of this happened? I think that's probably is just before this happened. Koenig said after. The government said this is after the lawsuit is settled and referred to. The court said, I see. Mr. Koenig said she's still stalking. That's the point I'm trying to make. The court said, I'm not accepting that characterization, but I do understand what you're saying. End of sidebar conference. Koenig goes back to her and says, do you remember? Hold on, y'all. What's up, babe? I'm live. What's going on? Okay, I'll come down and hear it. All right, bye. Okay. Do you remember having a video recording done as you waited out by Robert's home? Hold on, y'all. It's my job. Hey, Eric. No. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. I'll let them know. Okay. I'll talk to him. Okay. I will. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, he talked to me about it too. I'll look into it. Okay. Thank you. All right. Bye. All right. Do you remember having a recording done as you waited outside of Robert's home? Jerhonda said, I do. He said, do you remember when it was that you were waiting outside of his home? Jerhonda said, I do not. Koenig said, were you waiting alone? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Koenig said, what were you waiting in? Were you just standing around waiting, or were you in a car? Jerhonda said, a car. Koenig said, how old were you? Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Koenig said, was this before January 10th through January 2010? January 2010. Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Koenig said, let me show you a document and see if it refreshes your recollection. Mr. Koenig said, may I approach the witness? The court said, yes. Mr. Koenig said, if you look at the bottom portion underlined in red, see if it refreshes your recollection as to whether or not this was before or after your initial lawsuit. Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Ms. Geddes said, what page are you showing her? Mr. Koenig said, 54. The witness said, reading that doesn't look familiar. Koenig said, when you were waiting out by Rob's house, you were in a vehicle, were you not? Geddes, the government said, objection. The court said, I think you have to refer to her. My recollection is the witness says she doesn't recall that. Mr. Koenig said, I'm going to get to that. The court said, let's do it with a proper question by Mr. Koenig. Mr. Koenig said, you testified earlier that you recall making a video recording as you sat in front of Rob's house. Is that correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, when you sat in front of Rob's house, how long was it that you sat there? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Koenig said, was it hours? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure how long it was. Koenig said, was it more than 5 minutes? Jerhonda said, I'm not sure. Koenig said, what were you waiting for? Jerhonda said, I don't know. Koenig said you drove from somewhere to go to his home. Am I correct? Jerhonda said that's correct. Koenig said you parked your car in front of his house. Am I correct? Jerhonda said that's correct. Koenig said, and you telling this jury that you did that. You took these steps, but you don't know why. Jerhonda said it was, yes, that's what I'm telling you. Koenig said, did you have an occasion where you would leave your home, go and park in front of someone else's house and just sit there? Government said, objection. Jerhonda said, yes. The court said, I haven't ruled on that objection. Sustained. Koenig said, now when you sat there, were you concerned as to whether or not Rob had moved? Hold on. Now when you sat there, you were concerned as to whether or not Rob had moved. Am I correct? Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Koenig said, you don't recall as you sat there telling the other person that you wondered whether or not he had moved. Jerhonda said, I do not recall. Koenig said, you don't recall telling the other person that you have been sitting there that, and and hadn't seen him? That you have been sitting there for a while and hadn't seen him? Jerhonda said, I don't recall. Koenig said, you don't recall telling the other person? The government says, objection. The court said, overruled. Koenig said, I should just walk up to him. You're Rob. You're Robert Kelly. I'm hoping his manager's not around. His manager will get in the way. The court said, did you show her this already and asked her if she recollected it rather than reading it? Do you want to refresh her recollection to see if it refreshes her recollection? Mr. Koenig said, sure. Koenig said, to the bottom portion. Jerhonda said, I don't recall this. Mr. Koenig said, just 1 second, Your Honor. I'm looking to see if there is anything further. Court said, sure. Koenig said, you testified to us earlier that you in fact recall driving from somewhere and sitting in front of his home. Do you remember how many times you actually did that? Jerhonda said, I do not recall. Koenig said, but you do recall doing it. Jerhonda said, I recall at least once. Yes. Koenig said, no further, Your Honor. Nothing further, Your Honor. The court said, okay, are you ready to redirect? The government said, yes, Your Honor. Mr. Koenig said, just 2 questions, Your Honor. The court said, you already said you were done. Just kidding. Go ahead. Mr. Koenig said, in your book, you testified you didn't embellish anything when you wrote in the book about your experiences in connection with these facts that you told us about. Ms. Geddes said, objection. The court said, did you testify that you didn't make up anything that you wrote? Jerhonda said, yes. The court says, go ahead. Koenig said, in the book you wrote that during the trial that you sat through in 2008 that Rob blew kisses at you, correct? Jerhonda said, that's correct. Koenig said, did that happen? Jerhonda said, yes, that did. Kenneth said, it happened. He didn't know you, right? Jerhonda said, he did not know me. Mr. Kenneth, thank you. Nothing further. The court, go ahead, Ms. Geddes. Can I see the lawyers on the side without the court reporter? So they met at a sidebar on the court with just the counsel only, outside of the hearing, where nobody could hear. Redirect examination by Ms. Geddes. Y'all, I think I want to say something for Diva, who about to go live. Let me call and see where she at. It's 112. Let me just make sure, because I didn't. Hold on. All right, so y'all, I'm going to I'm gonna have Diva. She's gonna go on soon. Have her start at 3:53. That's what this page says at the top of this page is 3:53. So I'll let her notice where I stopped. But I do want to talk about this a little bit, y'all. Yes. She told a lot of lies. Let's just put it out there and be real. One thing we're going to do on this channel, and we're going to always tell the truth, even if it hurts. The girl told a lot of damn lies and got busted up. Kenneth destroyed her on that stand. There's nobody, nowhere that nobody who's going to think with a rational mind won't say that he did not destroy her on that stand. First day she went out with the government, she did a great job. But I got to keep it real. He tore her ass up on that stand, y'all. Now, that does not mean that R. Kelly did not sleep with her underage and that he did not give her herpes, which is why we are here. No matter what she lied about, being a 16 or 17-year-old little girl who was making irrational decisions, that does not excuse the fact that a grown-ass, old-ass grandpa was sleeping with a damn baby. No matter what. But the truth is, yes, she got caught in a lot of lies. She did. Those are just the facts. Okay? It's truth time now. But that does not excuse the fact that he slept with an underage little girl. Now, I told y'all it was gonna be times in this trial that it's gonna be things we're gonna find out that we don't like, right? And that is one of them. But it comes down to at the end of the day. But it shows to the jury that she lies. Right, it shows the jury that she lies. Exactly. The thing that I I guess the timing on when she said that he did tell her that he did what about herpes and stuff like that. I'm still kind of, maybe Miss Angie can break that down, but as far as I understand, it seems like he actually did talk to her about that when she said he never said anything about herpes, him having herpes. I don't like how much she lied on that damn stand, y'all. I don't like that at all. It definitely murders her credibility. It does. Let's just keep it all the way real. Like, I thought maybe he would catch her up in a couple of things, but damn. He destroyed her on that stand. Let's be honest. Now, I love Jerhonda, and I support her, and we still fight for her justice as far as her being taken advantage of, but if he didn't know the whole damn time that she was underage, that was a rough read, y'all. You want a good credible witness, and she is not freaking credible. Damn. I don't think that I can't see Azriel doing as bad as Jerhonda did in cross-examination. I can't see that. That's going to make today so much more interesting. We're going to have to get them down transcripts, y'all, because I think today is what everybody is waiting on and wanting to see. How is Azriel going to do in the cross-examination? But I got to keep it real. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. The girl is a damn liar. Big-ass liar. We got to keep it real. But that don't excuse what R. Kelly did to her. That don't excuse him slapping her. That don't excuse her spitting in her face. That don't excuse it. But it don't. Why you gotta sue the... Let me read what some of y'all saying, it's not just my opinion. He didn't tell her until she had an outbreak, and he called the doctor to examine her. Okay. But if that's the case, Warrior, why didn't she specify that and say that he didn't tell me nothing until after I had an outbreak? Why did she get on there and say he never told me nothing about it? Like, that kills credibility right there. CZ said she was saying prior to sex he didn't tell her. Once she found out she had it, she told him and he discussed it with her. Okay. Her sisters, about her, they didn't lie. You say her sister didn't lie about her. Yeah, this is why we need the transcripts, the both sides. Exactly. This is why we read the transcripts. And let's just be real about it. When we read these little news clippings and stuff like that, y'all, the newspapers are not telling both sides. They only really giving us the prosecution side. So if I wasn't to read these damn transcripts, I would be sitting around here looking real crazy, thinking that everything Jerhonda said was the damn truth. I'd be looking crazy as hell. I don't like looking crazy, y'all. But we got to keep it 1,000. One thing we are the side where we are going to defend the truth. And the truth is that it ain't a whole bunch of truth in her. Let's see what else y'all saying. As a juror, they concern should be about the charges and not about her morals and values. That sound good, James, but shit. Like I said, one or two lies, all right. He just ran the whole, man. Hold on. I want transcripts from yesterday and today. Yeah, I agree, Karen J. Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. That is correct, James. That juror thing that came out will help us stay focused, along with the charges, bribery, and Mann Act. Exactly. So at the end of the day, y'all, look, we gotta keep it 1,000 on this side. I don't want people thinking that we are just a bunch of, as I call them, a bunch of drones that sit there and believe any damn thing and twist stuff up. No, we're going to keep it all the way 1,000 on this channel. That's what we do. That's what we do. We keep it real. So earlier I heard on YT page, people on YouTube were mentioning like Cassandra and April. Is that true? I'm not sure if that's true or not, Karen J. You know, I'm getting to the point now, y'all, where if the shit ain't in the transcript, I need to see the transcript. Like all these news places, like the one I was reading, what's it called? The heck was that damn thing called? Hold on. Vulture and all that kind of stuff. Man, everyone is going to tell some lies and truth. That's true. That's true. Thank you, Atmos, for the lunchtime listening. You welcome, Rockin'. He said, it's small shit. She lied, but it put doubt in the juror's mind. There you go, Toon. And that's a fact right there. It is small shit that she lied, because at the end of the day, we're not here because of her lying. We here because she was taken advantage of by a grown-ass man while she was a child. Okay? That's why we're here. They were taken across state lines, Mann Act, all the extra stuff. That's why we're here. We're not here because of her lying. But what the lying does is it does create a lot of doubt. And with a jury, the defense has to prove without a reasonable doubt. The government has to prove without a reasonable doubt. And when you got a person that's getting caught up in every doggone thing they say, that can put doubt in people's heads. That is scary. Very scary, y'all. Sorry, it is. Sex, settlements, and herpes. It doesn't. If she lied, still the fact those three things happen. Sex, settlements, and herpes. Indeed, said Bo. Great point. You say it doesn't matter if she lied? I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But listen, I can't wait to see how the queen goes on today, Azriel. We'll see. We're going to figure out how to get these transcripts, and we're going to continue to always put the truth out here, y'all. We're going to always put the truth out here. Toon said he settled many lawsuits with her, so she's telling the truth about something. Now, that's the truth right there, Toon. She is telling the truth about some things, and he wouldn't keep settling with her. Right? I do agree with that. I agree. I don't think she's lying about every damn thing, but I'm just saying, good gosh. Kanika's doing a good job making it appear that the government has prepped them so their experiences align. That's why he kept asking her, how many times did you go to the office? How many hours? How many people was there taking notes? Okay, Karen J. Okay. But my question is, with the crime Kelly committed as far as giving them STDs, can he still be charged? Is there a statute of limitations on that crime? I believe there is a statute of limitations on that. I know that they were trying to talk about, especially in New York, under the health law, about the herpes not being an acute disease such as like gonorrhea or syphilis. So they got some type of legal jargon in there that, that they'll try to argue. It matters, but there is no defense for sleeping with minors. James Harris, that's a fact. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Well, let's just be glad she not the only testimony they will. Nettie Boo, yes. Thank God, y'all. I want to say thank God for Azriel. I believe Azriel gonna come through. She telling the truth that she lied. Well, y'all, Diva is going to be coming on. I wanted to. Hold on. Mamacita, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Okay. 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 Okay, so how many minutes? Because we are ready for you. I stopped at page 3. So on the top of my page, it says 353. I don't know what the actual page is. Okay. So it's 353, it says at the top. That's where I stopped. Yes. Yes, you should start there. You should start there. Yes. There may be some things, though, that you're going to see that you may want to elaborate on. Maybe give your own take, but... Yes. Yes, ma'am. All right, 353. All right, so how long you think that'll be? 10 minutes? Okay, y'all. Diva going live in 10 minutes. So we are going to go over there. She's going to continue reading from where I stopped off and probably go back and do her own thing. But, all right, Diva, we will be there to support you. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, y'all. So, I'm going to look at some of y'all comments until Diva come on. Let me see. I hear some of the girls don't have herpes. Huh. Oh. Turn my air on, y'all. It's hot in here. Tone said he heard some of the girls don't have herpes. This is straight up crazy. It is. Sidbo said if there's evidence that the doctor treated her for STDs, it's a wrap. Okay. But the employees confirm he did shit. Indeed, they do. Now here's another man. I'm not about to get them damn people nothing to give a different way of thinking about it. I'm gonna let them do their own work. The employee's testimony of the organized crime plays a major factor in his New York trial. I agree. It does. And Kannick hung himself by acknowledging that she was there on multiple occasions. And Kannick hung himself. Okay. Top notch what it do. You can have sex with someone who has a disease and don't get it. That's true. Well, y'all, Diva gonna be going on pretty soon. It's 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So let us go over there and support our sister. Thank y'all for coming over here. We are going to get out of here. I'm gonna walk out of here by playing the Queen song.
I'm walking through.
Well, that's my queen. That's my wife. We're gonna play Azriel.
We're coming on the air with breaking news.
Well, Azriel Clary, she was one of
Azriel Clare.
Azriel Clary.
She's redefining the word survivor.
Heart broke free. I'm loving and living wish was standing cut. You know you lucked upon a cut. I loved you way more than I should, and I don't treat you like I could. Cause two wrongs don't make a right. I had to get you out my sight. How did one night turn into my life? Heart broke free. I'm loving and living from here. You wasn't written in my destiny. Telling me I'm what you need, baby, what about me? You hate to see me, a queen that blossomed from the heart, taking steps they wish they could.